Jamari Connor,
he's locked down, man.
Man, he's coming along to being a great player. Let's recap the game, and then we'll dive into some of that within the running back part. So again, we won the game. Let's throw those stats up there. Sorry, not for you guys, but for us, whatever. But
yeah, we want to be accurate.
So 25 to 26.
Oh my gosh.
And it came down to the wire, like it really
highest paid kicker in NFL history.
Yeah,
my guy.
Right. And what's crazy about that kick is, that 1 point, the Bengals missed. What did he miss?
He missed an extra point.
Yes, he did. So in the third quarter, he missed that. So that was very crucial because that kicked in for us. We're going into overtime.
Yep.
And then who knows what's going on there. So, yeah. So let's see. On the Bengals side, Joe Burrow, he had 258 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, 3 sacks for 12 yards. The running game didn't really, do too much, which, we defended that well.
Right.
They had overall 74 yards on the ground per all 3 of the rushers that did run.
Right.
Receiving wise, okay. One thing is, I think Jamal Chase, Trey McDuffie defended really well. Kind of locked him up. Four receptions for 35 yards with 5 targets. So he defended him well. But the big problem, the big problem was the tight ends.
Man,
the tight ends.
We cannot get just an idea on how to guard tight ends.
No, so the stat right here so far against 2 weeks of tight ends, we have allowed 30 targets, and we've given up 25 catches, 276 yards, and 1 touchdown. And it's a 52%. It was tweeted by a Ron Kopp, I think, or however you pronounce it.
Sure.
A 52% of the total receiving yards the defense has allowed has come from tight ends. So,
man,
yes, tight ends are a struggle right now.
I will say, the 2 teams we played, the tight end that got the ball the most was not their star tight end for Baltimore.
Yep.
Mark Andrews didn't get the ball much. They coming back from injury, whatever. And then Mike Gesicki, nobody thought Mike Gesicki could do what Mike Gesicki did.
Yeah. He wouldn't utilize like that,
right? But then again, Drew Sample still had 3 catches of 28. And then Eric All had 4 catches for 32. So it's just
it was just a tough day because I think in the first half, even in that game, we had given up 100 yards to tight ends already.
Well,
in the first half,
and the guy
and a couple were, and one was a 4th down, some big downs that he uses tight ends, which that was a part of their game plan, was to kind of exploit that because it's been a struggle right now.
Yep. Well, and so we and the funny thing is the guy that caught their 2 touchdowns, Andre Josivas, I think is how you say it. I don't know. It's a foreign name. I can't.
Yeah,
he got 2 balls for 7 yards, but both of them were touchdowns.
Yeah. They were big plays there. So we did give up the long pass to Jermaine Burton, which I think Jalen Watson was on coverage there. So that was a little bummer. But that's that. So the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, his stats wasn't the best, obviously.
Not great.
151 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, which 3, but 1 got called back for a penalty. 2 sacks for 14 yards. Our ground game, though, I think that was in our plan with Pacheco, which he had 19 carries for 90 yards. We had 149 total yards for all rushers in the game. So we ran the ball well. We got chunks of yards, and we just seen that play out in the game.
Yep.
Receiving wise, Rashee Rice, big day again. 5 receptions for 75 yards and a touchdown, with his longest being 44 yards.
That 44-yard tutty.
Yep. Pacheco had 5 receptions, only 21 yards. But Travis Kelce, 1 catch for 5 yards.
On 3 targets.
Yeah, so
he would have had a bigger gain if not for the hands to face in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
That would have been 20 yards, 21 yards or something like that right there.
Yep. And then the big one, Wanye Morris.
Wanye
Morris caught a touchdown
TD,
pass.
Tutty.
It's always fun seeing a touchdown pass by the
Yeah.
lineman, and they figuring out what kind of celebration dance they're
Yeah.
going to do, right? And all the other linemen are chiming in with them. So little trick play, and even on that play, Travis Kelce was all open just as much. So it was cool he made that play.
Yep.
And caught that pass. So overall, they got the job done there. Just some some highlights within there. Some highlights. I think McDuffie, he defended Chase well.
He did.
He is that guy. You know
Right.
what I mean? And he's playing extremely well. We've seen him break up the pass in the end zone to Chase. Yep. So he's defending well. We know that we got to get the other guys. We got to get some things in the works there. We know Najee Johnson. One of the touchdowns he was scored on. I think Joshua Williams got scored on with that other one.
Right.
There's some things there, but highlights in the secondary. Trent McDuffie is playing well.
Trent McDuffie's locking down, bro. He frustrated Jamar Chase.
Oh yeah.
Frustrated Jamar Chase. Second half, Jamar Chase had a 15-yard unsportsmanlike penalty called on him because he thought it was a hip drop tackle, which I understand because Trent McDuffie was pulling him backwards. But Trent McDuffie's feet were under him the whole time.
Yeah. Well, and it wasn't like he went down quick. It was
He
like this.
spun instead of pulled him down.
Yeah, and it was like as he was falling down, he was still kind of holding him up in a
Yep.
sense too. So it wasn't like just this,
Right.
But
you can't. That's something we could go into deeper. I don't think we really need to, but that's something you can't do. And then when your quarterback comes in, your team leader comes in to calm you down and say, "Hey, we got this. We got to go." Jamar Chase took him out of field goal range.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That would have put him up by 4, which would have required the Chiefs to score a touchdown on our final drive.
Yep. No, it was a huge
dumb play.
It was a huge play there. Definitely a lot of frustration was built up, and we understand a lot out there that was kind of tweeted by the fans. Everybody was so just others upset as well, and even after the Jamar Chase interview, he didn't really want to speak about it. Even as their kicker was No. I think they did get a field goal on that one, didn't they? Because they was kicking a field goal, and Jamar Chase was on the sideline, and the coach was trying to talk to him, and he was still.
Did they kick a field goal?
Yeah,
on that
they
one?
did.
Oh, they still did get that.
Yeah,
All right,
I think
but still.
that was the one in the fourth quarter, the 3 points they got. So he was still,
Regardless,
going off.
That would have put them in a spot. That made it third down. I think?
Yeah, it could have continued their drive to,
Yep.
To maybe potentially score, but it backed them up.
And that's. I mean, he went out for like a few plays.
Yeah.
After that, so I mean, you took yourself out of the game in one of the most key moments of the game, and
then kind of disrespecting the captain of the team a little bit when Joe Burrow was trying to help him out and he wasn't seeing it. So they got some things to work out there for sure.
Yeah.
But Jamar Chase crying and he got locked up. So take that, Jamar Chase. But we'll continue on. We understand some other highlights on the ground game. Our ground game was to work against the interior line, which has actually quite a few injuries there, and so which we did. I think we moved the ball well.
Yeah.
There we even worked out some quick passes for screens to like Rice, and so Worthy I think had another one. So we exploited some weaknesses there. We had the Rashee Rice, the big touchdown pass down the field, and Britt, even in his after the game, he was like, it was a great play. He said, he kind of gave up a little bit because he's like, man, the receiver's already too far down the field. No way Mahomes is throwing the ball. Mahomes just saw that little glimpse and put it on the money for 44 yards for a touchdown,
which I think set him up for one of the craziest interceptions I have ever seen in my life.
And in which kind of was almost looked to be the same play, at least the same route.
It was the same route. It was the same
by
route.
A different receiver.
And I hate that it was to Xavier Worthy.
Yeah, because he was the one talking stuff about
he was talking stuff on Xavier Worthy. But I think the touchdown in the first half is what set Cam Taylor-Britt up for like putting himself in position to
Continue
make that
through the plays.
to make that play, because if that touchdown would have come in the second half, I don't think he makes that play if it happens soon. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah, he made a tremendous interception.
it was great, and it was
Odell
it was
Beckham
just
style.
put in a it was
That was
put in
crazy.
a great
That's
spot.
spectacular.
And if you look on the first one, he wasn't far away from tipping that ball either.
Sure.
So Cam Taylor-Britt, man, good on you. I think another thing we need to talk about is a dude that absolutely demolished the left side of our offensive line in Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah.
Like, flowers where flowers are due, man, because he made Suamataia look silly. That might actually be on your list to talk to next, probably. No, but
no, it's good. Yeah, we understand. Like as we go to some of the struggles, we can start off there, where our left side, Kingsley, he struggled. I think his PFF grade was like a 26 point something, which is the worst kind of there. Although
bad.
some of the things that could have played out, we could have gave him, I think, some better chip help.
Yeah.
With tight end or running back, we really didn't do that much. I think even one play when after some of the struggles, Pacheco was seen kind of going out that way, kind of faking the chip, but not, and it didn't phase Trey Hendrickson at all.
No.
And he's a tremendous lineman. He's a great player.
Yeah.
And it just kind of shown, hey, Kingsley, it says, we're playing with the big boys here.
Right.
And he struggled. One, he put him in a headlock probably 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. Well, and it's one of those things like, okay, if you're blocking and he gets around and your arm is up that high for like a second, like usually they're not going to call that because if you release, but he just did not release, man.
Yeah.
And the worst one was right after he gave up a sack is when he got that hold call that pushed us back another 10 yards. So he gives up a sack, and then you make that holding penalty because really, I mean, he didn't want to get that was one of those headlocks.
Right.
He didn't want to give up another sack, and you kind of gotta forget, like, when you do something like that, you can't let that be on your mind for the next play.
Yeah.
You got to contain, man. You got to keep your arms inside. And when you do, I mean, Trey Hendrickson's just good, man. He's just good. That was one of the best defensive lines in the NFL last year.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, he's good at what he does. So I don't think it's necessarily a testament to how Kingsley's going to do the rest of the year. He looked tired when he came out, though, when they pulled him for Wanye. Kingsley looked tired. Yeah. I mean, that dude he looked like our defensive line last week against Lamar Jackson.
Right. Yeah, he got worked a little bit.
Got worked a little bit.
And then at a point, they took him out, brought Wanye in.
Mm-hmm.
He even had illegal hands to the face on Trey as well. So had some struggles there. So at the moment, Kingsley is kind of benched and Wanye set to start. So we'll kind of see. I mean, anything can change at that point. That was just happened within that game.
Yep.
Again, it doesn't say this is what Kingsley's road ahead is.
Right.
There are some things that we can do. And so it was just one of those things we got to work on. And so with that, it brought these interceptions by Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
And I not saying like some of it was Kingsley's fault. With him feeling like, hey, this pressure's coming. I just got to be, I got to react quicker because we know the one interception that he threw in the middle of the field was not anybody's fault because when they broke the play, when you saw the play breakdown of it, you had Pacheco that was out on the flat. You had Justin Watson that broke on a corner route, and even Xavier Worthy. The safety was over the top, and Worthy broke, and the safety was slow-footed there.
Right.
And those were actually big plays down the field. He just didn't see that linebacker sitting, coming underneath, and cost us there. So Patrick Mahomes with a couple more interceptions.
Man.
There's just some, some choices better to make there. I mean, we all believe, he'll pick it up, it's Patrick Mahomes. So
Yeah.
he'll figure it out. Another Carson Steele, fumble, which he lost. So, just some of those rookie things, two of our rookie guys who, some things happened, which I love the fact, and this is always kind of how Reed has been in his offense, is that even when those mistakes has happened, he's giving those guys some shots. So we've seen on a play on the next possession, Carson still got it on a big third down and got the first down.
Yep.
So kind of that road to redemption type or whatever. So
I mean, we did it with Kareem
trust
Hunt
still
in like 2018.
Mm-hmm.
He had that fumble against the Patriots.
Yep.
And then just absolutely ran through the defense the rest of the game.
And then at the end of the game too, they gave it to him as well. Whenever we needed to keep the ball and make sure we didn't get it intercepted or fumbled, they gave it to him saying we trust
Pacheco
you.
went out.
So.
They handed the ball to Carson Steele.
Right, even whenever it was the last drive. So.
Yep. So just that trust in them. And then another big highlight for what I have is Jamar Conner, man.
Oh,
on that
man.
fumble recovery, the strip sack that we got, and then Jamar Conner comes in, picks it up for a touchdown run. Jamar Conner,
he's locked down, man.
Man, he's coming along and being a great player because he had a few big plays in that game.
Yep.
Like oh my gosh, the sack.
Yeah,
The sack to get us the ball back.
Yep.
When it was very delayed too.
I'm not
delayed, and Burrow didn't see it all, and he just comes from that right side.
It's crazy to me because he's
in a clean tackle.
You think a right-handed quarterback is looking that way? They see that giant hole open up, and I'm not going to say
that hole was it was giant.
Yeah, it was giant. It was a big hole. It was a big hole. But I'm not going to say Jamari Conner is this person, but it's almost like Tyrann Mathieu-esque,
Yeah.
The way he's able to rush the quarterback, and then just his ball awareness, his awareness of where the ball is. He's one of our highest rated defensive backs through the last several games. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, he's playing extremely
flowers to that
well,
guy.
So
flowers to that guy.
A big highlight there. So,
big highlight.
All that coming down. We got the win by a point. We've seen our defense hold at crucial times.
I mean, they held them to field goals most of the game.
Yeah.
One of the touchdowns was on a fourth down that it was like 2nd and 1 at the 2-yard line, and it took them until 4th down to get the first down, and then they held it to another 4th down where they threw the ball where Joshua Williams just got beat.
Yeah,
he got fooled on a post. Then he cut back out. He stopped on a dime. Josiah just stopped on a dime and caught Williams lacking. So, but I mean, defense did well. There's a few plays where I feel like, but overall, I think the grade of our defense was really, really well done.
Yep, out of 2. So, we was able to sneak out of there with the win.
Yeah, man.
To keep things moving ahead there. So that that was great. Just to against a good opponent, come out with the win. So stepped over needed to, and Bucker, man, come on, man, he's
the highest paid for a reason.
Is
whatever
nails.
You think about that guy,
nails.
He is the best kicker in the league. I put on X a couple weeks ago that he is by far the most clutch kicker in NFL history, in my opinion. The guys, I had, as soon as we were like 51 yard, we're good.
Yeah,
I had no worries. As soon as Bucker came out,
even on
we're gonna make it.
Well, even on that possession, we didn't fight for the yardage for touchdown, and
we
even
just
slow playing the clock. We just felt, we want to give our guy the ball, which with Bucker, I would imagine seeing that, just building that confidence is like, man, we're trusting in you.
Yep.
We don't want to force it. We don't want to, no more turnovers.
Right.
And we're going to trust you. And, whether you make it, we love you. You miss it, we'll hate you for a moment, but we still love you. No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
but still, no, our trust was in him. Either way it would have went. In that, I think we would have still put him in that position because we know he can step up.
Well, and he said after the game that every practice, he practices like it's a big moment every time. That way when he goes out there, whether the crowd's cheering or whether they're not, he practices every kick is a big moment. He puts himself in the same headspace. So